Question number 8. The Honourable Willow Jean Prime.
Tēnā koe te manga te whare. My question is to the Minister of Education. Does she stand by her decision to cut $30 million from Te Ahu o Te Reo Māori?
Honourable Erica Stanford.
Yes.
What is Te Ahu o Te Reo Māori?
Mr Speaker, Te Ahu o Te Reo Māori is a PLD course for teachers across the education sector who can partake in anywhere up to 20 hours of professional learning and development to learn Te Ao Māori.
Supplementary. Is she aware that Te Ahu o Te Reo Māori was specifically designed for teachers? And if so, why does she think a free Te Reo Māori course is an appropriate substitute for professional development for teachers?
Mr Speaker, what I know is that the course was 2.3 times more expensive than could otherwise have been commissioned. We know that 40% of people did not finish the course. We know that 10% of the people who did the course were not directly in front of students teaching them. We also know that there were another 10% of teachers who were doing the course that were doing that at a level that was not required to be used in the classroom. We made the decision, Mr Speaker, because we know in the future that we can design and develop a course that will be much more practical to be used and also get better value for the taxpayer's dollar.
Supplementary. What does she say to Te Taura Whiri I Te Reo Māori, Māori Language Commission Chair, Professor Rawinia Higgins, who is deeply concerned about the cut to Te Ahu o Te Reo Māori, and has she taken up Te Taura Whiri's invitation for open dialogue on the programme?
Mr Speaker, I would say that they would be also deeply concerned about the fact that as a system we were having a PLD provision that was 2.3 times more expensive than other similar courses that only had 60% of people actually finishing the course. And I would also say that it is important that teachers in front of students can pronounce Māori names and use everyday common phrases woven into their teaching. But this particular course was not good value for money, and we can contract better in the future.
Supplementary.
Right Honourable Winston Peters.
Could I ask the Minister, would students at the Reo Māori lessons learn more if they kept their mouths shut while the teacher was talking?
It's just the House will come back to order, I think. Hang on. Yeah, good, excellent. Go and have an argument outside. Be quiet in here. The Honourable Willow Jean Prime. Oh, hang on. Just a moment. Now, if that keeps up, the two of you can head outside and have a discussion. The Honourable Willow Jean Prime.
Supplementary. What does she say to rangatahi? Supplementary. What does she say to rangatahi from Te Kura Kohine o Te Rāwhiti o Te Upoko o Te Ika, Wellington East Girls College, quote, "It is so important and just taking it away is so crazy because it's something that was already taken away from us and it's taken so many years to try and get it back. We need more people, not less."
The Honourable Erica Stanford.
Mr Speaker, I'd say what I've been saying consistently, that as a steward of public money, it's important that we get the best bang for our buck. When we're able to contract something that is almost 2.5 times less expensive and get better results, then we will do that. And I've already said publicly that we've entered into negotiations and discussions with my officials about what we can do in the future to get better value for money.
Question number 9 in the name of Dr. Lawrence Sudan.
Tēnā koe te mangau te whare. To the Minister of Education, e tōku to ana ia I ana kororo me ana mahi katoa.
The Honourable Erica Stanford.
Mr Speaker, yes. In particular, my recent announcements of the first nationwide phonics checks in Te Reo Māori, undertaken across a 2-year period. This check for tamariki learning in bilingual or immersion includes oral assessments, including a hearing check for glue ear, multiple check-ins on early phonemic awareness to ensure that tamariki Māori are supported to excel in Te Reo Māori.
Te maunga te whare. Supplementary question. Could the Minister please explain how she is demonstrating her commitment to Te Tiriti o Waitangi when making her decisions about education?
Oh, Mr Speaker, I'd be pleased to. Every single thing that this government and I have done as a Minister of Education has been completely and utterly mirrored in Te Reo Māori. You can take our phonics check that I've just talked about. You could talk about decodables for structured literacy that have been designed, written, printed and delivered in schools for the first time in this country's history. We could also talk about the maths resources that have been announced yesterday that are going to be available in Te Reo Māori, printed, delivered to schools by term 1 and term 2 next year. This is a government that is totally committed to making sure that tamariki Māori and rangatahi Māori are achieving at their full potential, and we will continue to make sure that we put achievement at the heart of our work programme.
Te maunga te whare. Supplementary question. How does making Te Tiriti o Waitangi and Te Reo Māori a lower priority for schools than they currently are align with the government's commitment to honour Te Tiriti o Waitangi?
Mr Speaker, as I've already said, we are putting student achievement at the heart of every single thing that we do. And if we want to honour the treaty, Mr Speaker, it means closing the equity gap so that decades of disparity that have pervaded our system and the disproportionate representation of tamariki Māori and rangatahi Māori in the lower quartiles of our education and achievement system is closed. And it is my utmost belief that education can and should be the primary protective factor for our kids in a way in which they can break through intergenerational cycles of poverty and disadvantage and live the life that they want, choose and deserve.
Te maunga te whare. Supplementary question. What did she say to the 11 education organisations, including the Teaching Council, NZDR Te Reo Rua, PPTA Te Wakia Ngārua, New Zealand Principals Federation and Te Akatia, who say that the government is proposing to, quote, demote the place of Te Tiriti o Waitangi, end quote?
I would say that is completely untrue, Mr Speaker. I've already stated that putting educational achievement at the heart of our work programme to make sure that rangatahi and tamariki Māori are achieving to their full potential is giving effect to the Treaty of Waitangi.
Te maunga te whare. Supplementary question.
Supplementary, Lawrence,
What would she say to Māori communities who were not consulted on downgrading Te Reo in the Education and Training Act before this was put out for public consultation, or the defunding of Te Ahu or Te Reo Māori, and may feel that their language, culture and rights are being undervalued by this government?
I would say what I've already said to this House many times today, Mr Speaker, that the course was not good value for money. We can contract much better in the future.
The Honourable Tamapota.
Can the Minister of...
A point of order. Look, Dr Lawrence,
Thank you. The question specifically was around what would she say to Māori communities. This is in accordance with Speaker's ruling 206/4. And the Minister was referring to the value for money of the program, which is an unrelated matter under that particular Speaker's ruling.
You asked about Te Ahu.
Well, I don't really think, given the general tenor of the questioning, that that's a reasonable position to take. The Honourable Tamapota.
Te maunga te whare. Can the Minister of Education please confirm that Māori student achievement and Māori school attendance reduced in the 5 years prior to her becoming the Minister?
Well,
Mr Speaker, when we came into government, one of the alarming statistics that were in front of us was the fact that 12% of tamariki Māori are at curriculum for mathematics by the time they go to high school. It is this government's absolute priority to make sure that those tamariki Māori are achieving at the same rate as every single other child, which is why we are heavily investing in decodable books and maths resources to make sure that we improve their academic performance so that they can go on to live the life that they want.
The Honourable David Seymour.
Can the Minister confirm that this government is utterly committed to supporting schools' choice to offer Te Reo Māori if they choose, or not, if that's the community preference?
Well, Mr. Speaker, I'm also proud to say that this government, for the first time, I think, in this nation's history, has included Kura Kaupapa Māori in our network planning for schools, because we are dedicated to choice in education. We've ring-fenced $100 million for Kura Kaupapa property funding because we know the dire state of their property, and we are absolutely committed to making sure that tamariki Māori and their whānau have the choice in education if they want to go to mainstream, immersion, rumaki or Kura Kaupapa.
Tāku Te Whera.
The Minister's referenced twice that Te Ahu o Te Reo Māori was of lesser value.
No, sorry. It's question time.
Oh, I need to paita.
Start with a question.
Which courses has she used to determine the undervalue of Te Ahu o Te Reo Māori?
Well, Mr. Speaker, if I'm understanding the member's question right, when we looked at the performance of each of the providers, there were 13, there was one particular provider that had a completion rate as low as 10%.
Question number 10, Reo Māori.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Education and asks, what update can she provide to her Make It Count action plan?
The Honourable Erica Stanford.
Mr. Speaker, yesterday I was delighted to announce the 4 suppliers of ministry-funded maths resources freely available to state schools across New Zealand from Term 1 2025. Schools will have the option to select from a range of flexible packages from Prime, Maths No Problem, Pneumacon and Oxford University Press that include online resources, teacher guides, student workbooks, lesson plans, games and activities. And I'm really delighted that the government has committed these resources directly to teachers and students to lift achievement and support the implementation of the new maths curriculum.
Supplementary. What resources will be made available in Te Reo Māori as part of the Maths Action Plan?
Mr. Speaker, to ensure those learning through Te Reo Māori have the same opportunities to engage with the updated Pangaru curriculum, the Ministry will be fully funding resources for teachers and students in Te Reo Māori that are curriculum aligned, curriculum for the 0 to 8 students from Term 1 2025. Year by year, world-leading curriculum document, now supported by a substantial resource package. In addition, this government committed $20 million of professional learning and development funding to support teachers to unpack and embed the new curriculum and these resources in their classrooms.
Supplementary. What feedback has she received?
Mr. Speaker, the feedback has been heartwarming. From a teacher, thank you for the transformational changes you are making to literacy and maths for our tamariki. And from a principal, we have been using Prime Maths for about 5 years, and the difference it has made for our learners is incredible. We are thrilled that you are investing in this program across New Zealand. All our learners will benefit. Our school budget will also benefit. We are very grateful.
Great.